This is not the video I was expecting to make. I started out writing a story and then I was looking for pictures to go along with the story and wasn't really having any luck. And then someone suggested AI, which stands for artificial intelligence. AI creates pictures for people, and I thought, well, I've never done that before. So maybe I found a side quest within a side quest. And boy, did we have fun. If you're not familiar with AI, it stands for artificial intelligence. Basically, a computer program that takes the suggestions you give it to come up with a picture or a story. So that's just what I did. Here's the thing. AI is still fairly new, and every once in a while it gets weird. For example, drinking cider in the fall. If you Google it, you'll come up with a lot of pictures like this one. This might be touched up a bit with Photoshop or filters, but generally speaking, it's a real photo. However, AI will browse through the plethora of pics of people drinking cider and come up with something that basically looks like the rest, and here's what we get. Except the fingers. If you ever wonder if a picture is real or AI, check the fingers. Watching ducks in a pond. If you squint, it looks really good, but closer, apparently AI just stuck a bunch of ducky body parts together in no particular order. For the most part, it's got some quirks, but things are generally understandable. The real kicker is when you give AI something unique, something creative that's not currently on the interwebs, such as angry octopus with pie. What is this? This is garbage. If you search the internet for angry octopus with pie, it's going to give you various pictures of angry, or octopus, or pie, but not really all of them together because, let's face it, anyone with pie cannot realistically be angry. And so I decided to let AI write a story for me and also produce some pictures to go along with it. And it did. Not well, but it did. The story was easy enough, but I spent the better part of an evening trying to get pictures that made any kind of sense. I need a little girl. Poppy, be quiet. Let's see. Whoa, her mouth is kind of scary. Oh, her mouth is even scarier. Okay, we're going with that one. What happened? Oh. Sorry, girl. Halloween is over. What is that? I don't know if I can use that. That's pretty awful. But it's hilarious. Oh no. No, because it looks like she's eating it. She's like, Mom, Dad, what are you trying to feed me? That's disgusting. Okay, we can't use that one either. What is happening? Not sure if the computer knows what what's happening. What's happening with this little side face? Huh. Oh, the fingers are disturbing. Good faces. Almost right. Fingers are disturbing. That's a really big pot. Oh, I have no idea what this strange person's face. I also like how ginormous this is. That is so much spaghetti. Why? Why does the computer think we just touch spaghetti? coming out of your ear. Don't eat spaghetti from your dad's ear. Don't do it. Sometimes when AI is trying to blend multiple people's faces together to get the right emotion, it just is terrifying. No. Oh, she's got some scary teeth. Oh, yes. Yep. Going with this girl with too many arms. Because, okay, come on. We all know we have at least one picture of us as kids looking like this. She looks like she's sneezing. What's wrong with her hand? This is the spaghetti monster. Why is the spaghetti fairy a horse animal? I love it. And then they got married. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, that gives me a brilliant idea, but it's time to introduce our story. Okay. The prompt is write a very silly story about a girl who hates spaghetti because it looks like worms, but her dad keeps begging her to try it until she finally does, and she loves it. Okay, AI never actually gave a title to this story, so we are calling it Lulu Will Not Eat Spaghetti. Once upon a time, in a little town called Noodleville, there lived a girl named Lulu. Lulu was a very particular eater. She loved peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, she adored pancakes, and she could eat an entire bowl of mashed potatoes in one sitting. But there was one food Lulu refused to eat, and it was the one food her dad, Mr. Spaghettini, adored more than anything else in the world: spaghetti. Lulu hated spaghetti. She hated it so much she refused to even look at it. Why? Because in her mind, spaghetti looked exactly like worms. Why would anyone want to eat something that looks like worms? Lulu would say dramatically, crossing her arms and scrunching up her nose. Worms are gross, Dad. Mr. Spaghettini, whose name you might have guessed was inspired by his deep love of all things pasta, was heartbroken. Every night he would cook a big pot of spaghetti and offer it to Lulu, but she would shake her head and push her plate away. Lulu, he would beg, please, just one bite. You haven't even tried it yet. It's delicious. But Lulu wasn't having it. She would stand firm, arms crossed like a little spaghetti-hating fortress. No way, Dad. I'm not eating worms. Sweetheart, he said with a sigh, it's not worms. It's spaghetti. Spaghetti is made out of flour and water. Worms are made out of, well, worms. But Lulu would just shake her head, her face turning a shade of green that matched her disgust. Worms are squiggly and slimy. Spaghetti is squiggly and slimy, so it's the same thing. One evening, after a particularly long day of trying to convince Lulu to try spaghetti, Mr. Spaghettini had an idea. He decided to bring in some reinforcements. The Spaghetti Fairy. Yes, you heard that right. The Spaghetti Fairy was a magical being who lived in the kitchen and had the power to make even the most spaghetti-hating child fall in love with pasta. So the next evening, when the spaghetti was ready and Lulu was about to make her usual "I will not eat worms" speech, the Spaghetti Fairy appeared in a puff of flower-scented smoke. She was a tiny, sparkly fairy with a tutu made of spaghetti noodles, wings shaped like spaghetti strands, and a wand that looked like a fork. Lulu stared at the fairy, eyes wide. "Who are you?" she asked, suspicious. "I'm the Spaghetti Fairy," the tiny creature squeaked, doing a little twirl in the air. "I've come to help you overcome your spaghetti fears." Lulu was speechless for a moment. Then she crossed her arms again and said, "I'm not afraid of spaghetti. I just think it looks like worms, and worms are yucky." The spaghetti fairy giggled. "Oh, silly Lulu. Spaghetti is fun and tasty. It has nothing to do with worms. Watch this." With a flick of her wand, the spaghetti fairy made the noodles come alive. They started to dance around the kitchen in a perfectly synchronized noodle ballet. They twirled, they jumped, they did flips. It was the most spectacular spaghetti performance Lulu had ever seen. Lulu's eyes widened. "Whoa, that's actually kind of cool." "See," said the spaghetti fairy, smiling. "Spaghetti is magical, not wormy. It's full of surprises, just waiting to be twirled on a fork and slurped up." Lulu thought about it for a moment. "I guess if it's not worms, maybe it's okay to try?" The spaghetti fairy nodded. "Exactly. One bite won't hurt. In fact, I bet you'll love it." With a deep breath, Lulu picked up her fork. She twirled it around the spaghetti, then lifted a small bite to her mouth. Her eyes widened as she tasted the warm, delicious noodles. A smile slowly spread across her face. "Wow," she said, wide-eyed. "This doesn't taste like worms at all. It tastes like magic." The spaghetti fairy clapped her hands in delight. "See? Told you." Lulu took another bite and another until her plate was empty. "Dad, this is the best thing ever," she said with a grin. "It's not worms, it's spaghetti, and it's amazing." Mr. Spaghettini's face lit up like a Christmas tree. "I'm so proud of you, Lulu." From that day on, Lulu loved spaghetti more than anything. Every night she would ask for extra spaghetti with extra sauce and sometimes even a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese on top. Her dad was overjoyed, and the spaghetti fairy was always nearby, twirling around the kitchen, making sure every bite was filled with magic. And so Lulu learned that just because something looks a little strange, it doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, it could be the most delicious thing in the world. And as for worms, well, Lulu decided they were best left in the dirt where they belonged. The end. So Mr. Spaghettini and the Spaghetti Fairy decided they liked each other and they went on a couple dates and then they fell in love and they got married, and so the Spaghetti Fairy became Lulu's Spaghetti Fairy stepmom. The end. Well, you may have noticed I had to add my own ending. I couldn't let AI have all the fun. But either way, I don't think this is going to be winning a Caldecott anytime soon. But I hope you liked it.
La 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 la, I am weird.
Just show me biscotti, 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 biscotti.